Hey guys, it's Simeon. This is Wrestling Unlimited as it's Friday. And tonight, we're doing two show reviews. We're doing Smackdown as normal and AEW Rampage because A, it's a live Rampage, and B, it was the pay-per-view go-home show. And I've always told you guys that most live Rampages we will review, but any pay-per-view go-home Rampage we will review for sure. So tonight we will be talking Smackdown first, and then we'll be doing AEW Rampage. I got something stuck on my tooth. I just finished dinner. We had freaking baked chicken. Really good baked chicken. Super crispy skin. Anyways. I thought as far as Rampage does go, it was just an episode of Rampage. It honestly did nothing for me. I didn't even know, if people were sitting there going, all right, I'm waiting for this main event, and then they see it's QT Marshall and Ricky Starks, nothing against them, but that's... I know this gets used a lot by YouTubers and wrestling journalists and stuff, but if this wasn't my job, and then we got to the main event deal, and they're like, oh, the main event is Ricky Starks against QT Marshall, I would have turned the channel and been like, I'm done with this show. I could care less about what happens here. And it was just a big-ass clusterfuck anyways. Like, that whole main event stuff, from the time they sent it to Mark Henry to the time the show ended, that was just one big clusterfuck. Like a huge cluster. That did nothing for me. As far as SmackDown does go, though, I thought SmackDown was a good show. Not great. Could have been better for a go-home, but it had a great main event ending segment that really makes me go, oh, I need to see Drew win. Oh, I need to see Drew win. You know what I mean? Like, it really gets me like, man, Drew's got the advantage. And if this was a Vince McMahon booked show, I would have been like, oh, crap. Drew's looking strong on the go home. He ain't winning the belt. But with it being a Triple H booked show, we can't just assume that as we used to be able to assume that and be right 90% of the time. We don't know if Triple H is going to do the whole, well, if you look good on the go home, you're not winning the pay-per-view. That was something Vince did a lot. But SmackDown had a very long opening match that kind of dragged at times, to be honest. A really good match with Ludwig, Kaiser, and Butch. Just make it Pete Dunne again. Put the hair down. You put the singlet back on. Just make it Pete Dunne again. And then a great, main event segment to hype you up for tomorrow morning's show. But with that, I do want to say thank you to Dan the Man for his Tier 1 subscription here on Twitch. And if you are watching live, then you're doing so, twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited. And I do want to say thank you. I also want to say thank you if you're watching or listening later, whether that's youtube.com/PWU Pro Wrestling Unlimited, or if that's podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe just like Dan the Man did with a Tier 1 subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. You take your Twitch account, you take an Amazon Prime account, whether it's yours or somebody else's, you link them together, bada bing, bada boom, you're Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things, like free games, and they got a couple really, really, really good free games this month, as it is Shadow of Mordor. Football Manager 22 is pretty good. I really enjoy the Football Manager games. And then Assassin's Creed Origin is also free right now for Prime Gaming subscribers. So if you have Amazon Prime or access to an Amazon Prime account, whether that's your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your grandma, your grandpa, your auntie, your uncle, anybody's Amazon Prime account, you link it with your Twitch, bada boom, bada bing, bada hey. Get a bunch of free stuff, like one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you do right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Before we move on, it is Santaco in the chat says, when are you going to talk about upcoming 2023 pay-per-view schedule calendar for January to December? Well, hey, dummy, can't talk about something when there's no info on it. I can tell you, WWE's going to run Royal Rumble. WWE's going to run an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. WWE is going to run a WrestleMania, a SummerSlam, or what? I can tell you names of pay-per-views I can guess on, but when there's no actual calendar out there, How the fuck am I supposed to report something when there is no news? I've told you this before. This is like the fourth time you've come to my live chat and go, we're going to talk about next year's pay-per-view schedule when we have a word on it. We don't even know where's Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble might be in San Antonio. We don't got a date. We don't got that locked down. So we'll talk about it when we have freaking info about it. God. I hate people coming in here trying to tell me how to do my job and then being super wrong when you're telling me to do something that there's literally no information about. But if you want to know about actual information within the world of professional wrestling, then go follow us. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. And in doing so, hit the join button and become a channel member. As a channel member, you get early access to news, early access to podcast episodes, early access to non-news videos, and so much more. Also, remember, you can get all that, but more directly support us over at patreon.com/PW Unlimited. And finally, bada bing, bada boom, head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something, whether that's a new game, an old game, whether you're claiming a free game, or you're getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, Fall Guys, or Rumbleverse. Yes, Rumbleverse also allows you to use the creator code PW Unlimited. Use code PW Unlimited at checkout for any Epic Store or Epic Games purchases. And you will be directly supporting us right here without having to pay anything extra. Jay Grizz says, where are your all-out predictions? They're at the end of this week's Dynamite podcast review. I will be pulling those and putting them up as soon as we're done with this. I was going to do it earlier, but then I got busy. As you can see back there, all these damn boxes. I'm moving. I'm getting kicked out of my apartment. And so I got busy, me and the kids, packing stuff up. Packed up all their books. We packed up all their board games. We packed up a bunch of other stuff today, blankets and whatnot. So I got busy packing up my place because I got to move soon. Actually, I got to move in less than 30 days. And so I got busy with that. But I will be putting those up. I'll be pulling them and putting them up as their own video tonight. And then tomorrow, my Worlds Collide predictions will go out. And my Clash of the Castle predictions, which we did on the wrap-up this morning, already up and posted separately for you guys. YouTube.com/PW Unlimited. But with that, the poll is up for Smackdown. Oh, you guys got to remember. Come on, ants. How long have you been here? I don't put the poll up until we have at least over 20 people in the live view or in the watching or whatever you want to call it. Watching live, because Twitch only lets you do a 10-minute poll. And so if I put it up when we first start the stream and it tells me there's only 4 people watching because the stream just went live and everyone haven't got their notification yet, then like nobody's going to get a poll. So I wait. I wait about 5 minutes or so, maybe sometimes longer, but I wait till there's at least 20 people in the live chat, and then we throw that poll up. Come on, guys. You guys ask this multiple times a week. You should know by now, but as far as Friday night SmackDown does go, like I said, it was a good show, not a great show, and I thought it could have been better. Also, Dan the Man, thank you for the bits. Really do appreciate that. Thank you for the bit donation. But as far as SmackDown does go, the show itself opened up with a Viking rules match. I'm like, what the hell is a Viking rules match? Well, what we do know is that there is a big front half of a Viking boat set up next to the ring. There are Viking shields around 2 sides of the ring along the bottom ropes in the apron. And basically it's no rules. Anything can happen. Get her done. So the New Day did have the early advantage here as they stomped the Raiders in the corner. They followed this up with double flip dives at the same time. Kingston held the shield over Eric's face, and Woods hit a running dropkick against the barricade. Kingston then hit a frog splash off the barricade onto Ivar for a near fall. Back from a commercial break, which there was this match went through 3 or 4 commercial breaks, to be honest. Got hair on my glasses, bugging the crap out of me. Anybody else here wear glasses? And if you get a hair on it and you see the hair floating right next to your eye, it's just the biggest bug ever. Biggest bug ever. Anybody else ever have that problem? And we're getting a bunch of text messages. It keeps popping up, blocking my screen. Anyways, Back for the break, Woods hit a flying crossbody on the Viking Raiders in the crowd. They fought back towards the ring. Ivar hit a running crossbody on Woods against the barricade into the crowd and got a 2 count. Back in the ring, Eric held Kingston so Ivar could hit him with a kendo stick. Fans broke out into a "We Want Tables" chant. Kingston then recovered and ran wild. He then hit Eric with a unicorn horn sledgehammer, which it's not. I wrote that on purpose because they kept saying, "Oh, Kofi's got a unicorn horn sledgehammer. Kofi's got a unicorn horn sledgehammer." No, it wasn't. It was Thor's Mjolnir, where the handle was a unicorn horn. And trust me, my 10-year-old son even knew what it was because they're fighting, and periodically, like, he doesn't pay attention. But like when I tell him, "Hey, New Day's wrestling. Hey, it's so-and-so," like certain wrestlers, I'll let him know, like, "Hey, like he's over here, TV up there, he's playing PlayStation or whatever, he's playing God of War today." And then I'll be watching on the computer and I'm like, "Hey, New Day match if you want to watch." And so he's like playing God of War over here, but looking every so often. And all of a sudden, because he's behind me on the couch, I just hear, "He's got Mjolnir." And I start busting up laughing. I go, "But do you see the handle?" He's like, "No." And then Kofi throws it. And I'm like, "Oh, well, I can't rewind it, but it was a unicorn horn." And he's like, "Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's really cool." So, yeah, it was Mjolnir. And the handle was a unicorn horn. Hey, since Saturday, if you're going to say it right. Don't say had a Thor moment with the hammer. Don't say the hammer. Call it by its real name, Mjolnir. It's Mjolnir. Yeah, Kid Vicious. I don't have perfect vision. That's why I gotta wear glasses. Wow, that's no offense, but a dumb thing to say. You literally said, "Is there something wrong with your eyesight? Is that why you wear glasses?" That's why anybody that wears glasses, because there's something wrong with their eyesight, because they don't have perfect vision. At least I'm not as bad as my mom. She's fucking 90% legally blind in her right eye. My daughter might have that too. Trying to course correct that. Hopefully without surgery. Only 9, so we've got time to try to course correct that. It didn't work for my mom, and back in the day, surgery wasn't an option. They didn't even offer it. But I digress. Yes, there is something wrong with my eyes. It's called, when I do this, I can still kind of read, or actually I can read all of that, but it's blurry. And eventually, if I read something blurry too long, then I'm going to get a headache. And someone with bad eyesight, if they read something blurry, 9 times out of 10, it'll keep getting blurry on them. So, just saying. Just a little science lesson there for you. But anyways, Charles Channon, "We Want Tables," before Kofi did the sledgehammer spot, or not the sledgehammer spot, but the Mjolnir spot. Nothing came of it, though. You got a close near fall. New Day pulled out 2 tables to a massive pop, and then, well, they didn't use them. Ivar took them down, and then they were attacked on the Dragon Boat. Woods, well, actually, Kofi was slammed onto the front of the boat, and then Woods did the dive through the ropes into the swinging tornado DDT. Woods briefly fought back, but the Raiders took over. Ivar then hit a slam off the middle ropes, but Kofi broke up the pin attempt with a double stomp. Back from another commercial break, Ivar stacked the 2 tables next to the little boat, or the front of the boat thing. Woods then fired up and hit a senton on Eric. Woods brought in a chair and set it up in the ring. The New Day gave Eric a double stomp onto the chair, but Ivar broke up the pin attempt. Ivar then missed a huge moonsault and crashed onto the mat. Kingston hit a splash, and Woods followed this up with a flying elbow for a close near fall. Woods and Kingston then dove under the Raiders off the boat. The Raiders then regained control and tossed Kingston into the ship. Woods then attempted to powerbomb Eric off the ship through the stacked tables. Ivar then made the save and rocked Woods with a shield. Kingston recovered, but Ivar took him out with a shield shot as well. The Viking Raiders then gave what they called the Ragnarok to Xavier Woods, double powerbomb through the stacked tables, and then pinned him to pick up the victory. But they called it a double powerbomb. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention. Was it more like a chokeslam than a powerbomb? Maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention. But it seemed more like a chokeslam to me. Periodically throughout the show, we got these Paul Heyman narrated videos about Roman Reigns and his 2 years as champion. First one basically talked about him winning the title. These are actually really good videos. I really enjoyed these. After a commercial break, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I got to respond to a message. There we go. Oh crap! I just closed the Twitch chat. Give me 1 second to reopen that. Switching so many tabs, you accidentally closed the wrong one. So back from the break, they showed a video recapping the Bloodline beating down Drew McIntyre last week. Okay, since Saturday, there we go. He said it looks more like a Razor's Edge. True. Now that I think about it, true. And I guess technically you could say that's like a power bomb. So yeah. Going forward, in the back, the Usos approached Sami Zayn in the locker room. Zayn was wearing a suit and got his hair done for the Reigns 2-year anniversary celebration. Jay wasn't too happy that Heyman wasn't there for the party, and he mentions that Zayn was not helping them against Owens. Zayn tried to explain himself. Jimmy felt Sami had the party under control, and Zayn was great in the segment. In the back, Kayla Braxton interviewed Shayna Baszler. Baszler promised to win the SmackDown Women's Championship tomorrow and make Liv tap out. Morgan then interrupted and promised to rip out Baszler's arm at Clash of the Castle. I'm like, oh, you think all that Matt Riddle training's gonna help? I mean, it might help you win, but you ain't ripping her arm out. Yeah, okay. They got a Karrion Kross Scarlett promo. In the back, Kross talked about Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. He promised to defeat his opponent Drew Gulak tonight because the timeline is going to change. TikTok. And I go, oh, we got the bloodline, and now we got the timeline. Is this a multiverse thing? Talking timelines? The timeline's going to change. Paul Heyman narrated another Roman Reigns video. It discussed everyone Roman has faced and defeated over the last 2 years. He said Roman has defeated 16 different challengers and 23 title defenses, I think is what he said, from the likes of Edge, John Cena, Goldberg, Big E, and even Brock Lesnar. No mention of Bryan. No mention of the WrestleMania and the WrestleMania Backlash match he had with Bryan. But I mean, I digress. Why would they mention Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson anyways? Karrion Kross then took on Drew Gulak. Karrion Kross had the full NXT intro with him and Scarlett. Kross also, I'm going to be transparent with you guys. Kross was released by WWE last year. He wrestled a number of indie matches, and I didn't watch any of them. So I hadn't seen him since his last NXT match, or actually main roster, whatever you want to call that gimmick match, or gimmick was. But the dude's put on some bulk. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's gotten bigger. Karrion Kross has gotten bigger since the last time we saw him in WWE. Like, that's for sure. Also, they're coming down to the ring, and Michael Cole goes, and that's Karrion Kross, the Doom Walker. And then Scarlett does her thing where she walks ahead, and he goes, and that's the Siren of Sin, Scarlett. And I'm like, oh, they got some nicknames. The Doom Walker, Karrion Kross, and the Siren of Sin, Scarlett. Okay. That's interesting. Very interesting. There wasn't much really to this match. Kross let Gulak chop him, but it didn't hurt him. He basically no-sold it. Kross rocked Gulak with the boot to the face. He followed it up with Saito suplex and locked on a cross jacket for the victory. Well, he got the hair since Saturday because he's doing a movie, and they asked him to grow the hair out for the movie. And I don't know if the movie's finished filming. I don't know if they've got to do reshoots still or whatnot, but production's ongoing. So, yeah, he got the hair for a movie. got the hair for a movie. Give me one quick second here. Getting messages from people at the Rampage show of stuff that went down afterwards. That's why I keep getting messages. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so back to SmackDown. After the match, Cross and Scarlett hung Gulak in the ropes and then walked away. The next segment, they recapped Ronda Rousey getting arrested. Paul Heyman narrated the third Roman Reigns video package. He recapped him ruling over SmackDown, getting wins over Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, Riddle, and also him defending in Hell in a Cell. Ronda Rousey then had her, quote, final judgment. The segment was good, not great. I felt like Ronda was trying a little too hard. I loved Pierce in this, though. Rousey and Pierce were out. Well, actually, Ronda was out first. Faz broke out into a loud Ronda chant. And Rousey said that she had a letter from WWE's global offices, is what she called it. She then goes, all right, Pierce, I need you to come out here. Let's go, Pierce. Come on. Let's go, Pierce. And Pierce finally comes out. She hands him the letter and she goes, you might want to read this. And she's like, also, can I just call you Adam? We're a first name basis here. I was going to call you Adam. And so he grabs the letter and she's like, excuse me. I don't think the people here just want to watch you read a letter. Read it to them. Why not? Read it out loud. And he's like, all right. And so he reads the letter, and basically it says that Rousey is no longer suspended. She's paid all her fines and so forth. Pierce then claimed, this isn't personal between you and me. Rousey feels differently. She mentioned that it was personal when you got me arrested, when the letter says that I didn't do anything warranting being arrested. And it says that she will be on probation, but no longer suspended. Pierce said he was unhappy as he read this letter. Rousey rubbed it in his face, though, which was kind of funny. Pierce added that he would fire her if it was actually up to him. Rousey mocked him, which set off Pierce. He went on a rant about, no one asked how I'm ever doing. No one ever says, good job, Adam. Good job. Thanks for running the show. Thanks for making sure everything goes well. And that's just not one show every week. It's 2 shows every week where I got to babysit a bunch of people like you that don't ever care about anything but themselves and this and that. He's like, nobody in the office cares. I keep this place afloat. I keep this place running. More shows than you can count. Every week it's more than just SmackDown. It's more than just Raw. It's this and that and da-da-da-da-da-da. And Rousey said something about, do you have a problem with the board of directors? He's like, I don't have any problem with the board of directors. I have a problem with you. First, they went too far and insulted Rousey. Rousey became furious and caught him in an armbar. Fans broke out into a loud Ronda chant. Cole noted, oh my God, Rousey just put her hands on a WWE official. Could she get herself fined or even suspended again? Also, a lot of Michael Cole taped all those lines in a booth stuff tonight. Like they went and they filmed this show as quick as they could last week and then said, all right, Cole, now you need to go do a bunch of voiceover stuff so we could slap it in every so often. Basically. Because there was a lot of Michael Cole talking, oh my God, this and that, and then this was da 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 da. Like, so there's one part, I don't remember where, it was later in the show, but we'll talk about it right now, where there's like a wide shot of the crowd and you just hear, tomorrow after WWE Clash at the Castle on the WWE YouTube and Facebook channels, we will be holding a press conference after the show with the talent talking about their wins and losses and this and that and so forth. And you can totally tell that was something pre-recorded later or recorded in a booth afterwards or whatever, whether that was at the PC or Michael Cole's home or wherever. It was recorded somewhere else because the audio of it, you could tell, was different. But overall, the Rousey segment was pretty good. Try not to sneeze there. So in the back, someone delivered black flowers to Sami Zayn for Roman Reigns. Sami's like, oh, I'm not expecting any flowers. Then he sees the note on it and it just reads TikTok. Next up, we had a 3-minute match. It was Hit Row against Maximum Male Models. Also, how long did that opening match go? I don't think I said the time. 22 and a half minutes, the Viking Raiders New Day match. Almost the first quarter of the show. Anyways, Hit Row versus Maximum Male Models. Not much to this, and I didn't think it was all that good. Shanti the Adonis and Mansoor started off the match with a drop kick to the floor from Adonis to Mansoor. Massey then jumped in, and Top Dollar sent him to ringside as well. This is then when the Los Lotharios would come out. He tried to be all suave to be fab, and Maxine got jealous. Where Max is like, don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. No. Models then took advantage of the distraction, though, here and jumped Adonis from behind. The heels then took over and isolated Adonis on their side of the ring. Adonis did break free, and Top Dollar got the tag. He caught Mansoor with a running knee and a splash. Hit Row hit the heavy hitter and picked up the victory. After the match, Los Lotharios jumped in, along with Maximum Male Models, and they attacked the Hit Row guys 4-on-2. When the Street Profits would then run out to make the save, they dump all the heels, and there we go. That was it. Next up, they recapped Ricochet defeating Happy Corbin. In the back, Caleb Braxton interviewed Corbin. He's like, I don't want to talk about Ricochet. We ain't talking about any of that. Don't even ask me. She's like, what do you think about Ricochet beating you twice? He's like, I'm gonna change my fortune. Tonight, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna issue an open challenge. Anybody, come face me. Paul Heyman then narrated another Roman Reigns video. It highlighted the big matches he had, including Hell in a Cell and Last Man Standing. Corbin then came out for his open challenge when, well, he was met by Shinsuke Nakamura. This was a 2.5-minute match that wasn't particularly any good, not because either man looked bad, but just because the match never actually got rolling. Nothing really happened. It was a Nakamura match and nothing happened. Early on, Nakamura backed Corbin into the corner. Corbin fought back with an elbow to the head. Nakamura recovered and set it for a Kinshasa. Corbin countered with a deep 6 for a near fall. Fans broke out into a Corbin sucks chant. Nakamura then escaped the end of days, hit a Kinshasa, and picked up the victory. That was it. Then we had another one of these. Michael Cole recorded this later videos or segments. Michael Cole recapped Raquel and Aaliyah defeating Io and Dakota to become the women's tag team champions on Monday. Brawling Brutes then made their way to the ring. Back from a break, Corbin was walking backstage. And he's walking down these stairs into the parking lot when a limo with horns would pull up. And Corbin stops. The window rolls down, and you hear the voice of JBL go, "Hey, what's happened to you? Get in." Just like that. I may not have the words 100% right, but it's basically, "Hey, what's happened to you? Get in." You can tell JBL was not in that limo, and JBL pre-recorded those lines, and then they just dubbed it over later. Because JBL was not in Detroit last week. JBL was not there. JBL was actually in Orlando with Freddie Prinze Jr., with Kevin Owens, with Renee Paquette, all filming stuff for new episodes of WWE Rivals on A&E. I don't know if they're adding more episodes to season 1 or if season 2's been greenlit and that's what they're filming for. But they did the whole where Freddie Prinze is hosting and then they're all sitting at the table. I don't know who the 4th wrestler person is, but I do know that Freddie Prinze was there with Renee, Owens, and JBL. JBL was in most episodes of season 1 that we've seen so far. So next up, we had a 9-minute match. This match was really good. I really enjoyed this. Butch versus Ludwig Kaiser. They made note on commentary, "Hey, look, Butch lit the hair down." He's also wearing a singlet. Just call him Pete Dunne, please. Just for the love of God, just let him be Pete Dunne again. Come on. So Kaiser had the early advantage, but Butch rocked him with the clothesline. Butch pulled on Kaiser's fingers and stomped on his elbow. Butch jumped off the apron and Kaiser caught him with an uppercut. They also made note that Butch is fighting like his old self tonight. I think Pat made that reference. He's like, Butch is actually fighting like his old self tonight, unlike we've seen recently where he's just an uncaged animal. So back from the break, Butch caught Kaiser with a German suplex and stomped at the fingers again. He followed this up with a kick to the head for a near fall. Butch climbed the second turnbuckle, but Kaiser cut him off and hung him in the ropes and hit him with a running dropkick. Kaiser then gave Butch a back suplex. but Butch landed on his feet. He rocked Kaiser with a kick to the head and got a 2 off of it. Kaiser regained control and went for a DDT. Butch attacked Kaiser, injured the fingers, and hit the bitter end to pick up the victory. After the match, Sheamus and Walter had a little stare down and like, oh, we're getting a clash early, Michael Cole. Are we going to see a clash before Clash at the Castle? But Kaiser said, no, we don't need this right now. Come on, Gunther, let's go. He was the voice of reason for Gunther. As we're winding down towards the end of the show, we had a 5th Roman Reigns Paul Heyman narrated video. Heyman noted that Reigns joins Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund, and Hulk Hogan as the longest reigning WWE champions. In the back, Sami Zayn and the Usos prepared for Roman Reigns' celebration. Zayn wanted to go to the ring with Reigns, but Jay was upset that Zayn thinks that he is part of the bloodline. Jimmy convinced him, no, he's got a good idea. Let's go out there, and Roman will join us later, getting his own entrance and so forth, and this and that. There was in a video, Instagram video from Tyson Fury, who said that tomorrow, Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre are going to fight for the title in Cardiff. He's going to be sitting ringside for that match, front row. I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know what that's going to lead to. Tyson Fury keeps saying he wants to do a match with Drew. We'll see. Then we had a really good closing segment. It was the Roman Reigns 2 years championship celebration. The Usos and Zayn made their entrance to the Usos music. Zayn doing his dancing. They all got in the ring and did the one. They had posters of Roman Reigns set up in the ring. Zayn wanted to make sure that it was okay that he hosted tonight. He was like, Jay, you okay with this? I know Roman said I'm the master of ceremonies, but you're okay with this, right? And Jimmy called him an honorary Uso and said, yeah, you're good. You can host. Jay not too happy. Jay then tried to host instead. And every time he would say something, Sammy would like, yeah, or right on, or yeah. And Jay would look at him like, shut the fuck up. He gave him that look like every time. You need to shut your mouth. But Zayn basically was like a hype man. And again, Sammy was awesome. Jimmy was like, hey, cool it. Calm down. Done enough. Basically like, you're pissing off Jay. We don't need any of that. I love how it's Jay and Sammy. It's Sammy wants Jay to like him. Jay doesn't like him. And Jimmy's just watching along, kind of sometimes the voice of reason, like, all right, Sammy, calm down. He's getting mad. He's getting mad. So the Usos and Zayn introduced Roman Reigns. They showed him arriving in a black SUV. And as soon as that door opens, kapowie! He takes a Claymore from Drew straight to the face. McIntyre goes straight down to the ring and beat down Zayn and the Usos. He followed this up with a huge dive over the top to all the heels. McIntyre then threw a chair in the ring. Zayn used it first. McIntyre recovered and had a Claymore into the chair into Sami Zayn. McIntyre then put Jimmy through the commentary table. McIntyre then asked for a microphone and imitated Reigns and then before the microphone, he imitated Reigns, speared Jay through the barricade, then asked for a mic. He then promised to kick Roman Reigns' head off his body and walk out the new champion in Cardiff. There we go. That, ladies and gentlemen, Friday Night Smackdown. I thought, overall, good episode. Could have been better as a go-home to get me a little more hyped. But I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy the show. As far as the poll does go, to see what you guys thought of the show, as far as the Twitch poll does go, 80% of you liked tonight's Friday Night Smackdown. 20% just thought it was all right. As far as the Twitter poll does go, 58% liked the show, 26% thought it was just all right, and 14% did not like it. And the YouTube community poll for SmackDown, 76% liked the show, 20% thought it was just all right, and 4% did not like it. I also put up some polls for Clash at the Castle tomorrow to gauge what you guys think could happen in a couple of the title matches. First off, in the IC title match, I said, who's going to walk out Intercontinental Champion? Gunther or Sheamus? 76% of you said Gunther retains the title, over 24% thinking Sheamus could become the new champion. Then, I asked, who could be walking out the undisputed WWE Universal Champion? 62% of the almost 3,000 votes said Drew McIntyre is walking out of Cardiff the new champion, with 38% saying no, Roman retains. So that's an interesting one that a lot of fans, almost 2,000 votes here, or 3,000 votes, almost 3,000 votes, 2.9 thousand. And 62% of those think that Roman or Drew is walking out the champion. But with that, we're now going to switch gears to Rampage. Mr. Banks says, did you upload a prediction, Tim, or no? For Clash? Because if that's just for Clash of the Castle, yes. I did the all-out predictions on our Wednesday podcast, and then I will be pulling those and posting those tonight, and then I'll also be posting Worlds Collide predictions tomorrow. But let's throw up a poll for Rampage. We're going to talk about Rampage next. What did you think about tonight's Rampage? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. Let's throw that poll up. Before we do talk about Rampage, we got to talk about the sponsor of this video. The sponsor of this video is Wrestling Vintage. Wrestling Vintage is here to bring you some very cool wrestling, depending on where you are in the world, wrestling themed soccer or football jerseys. They've got jerseys to represent a bunch of different wrestlers like The Undertaker, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero. They're all different themed jerseys, like one's for Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the Wolfpack, Trish Stratus, Mankind, Mick Foley, and more. I'm going to say these are very comfortable. Go to WrestlingVintage.com right now and use code PWU10 to get 10% off of your purchase. I've got a couple of them myself that I've worn. I've got the Stone Cold Steve Austin one. I've got the Ric Flair one. Flair says Kiss Stealer on the back. I've also got British Bulldog one. I think this is one of the more cool designs. Bulldog on the back. And what's really good about these jerseys, it's been over 105, 106 degrees almost every day this week here in California. And these jerseys, they breathe tremendously. I was at my son's football practice last night. It was 106 degrees. And I didn't feel warm. I didn't feel hot. I mean, I felt hot because it was hot. But it's not like if I'm just wearing a regular T-shirt out there and I'm like, man, I'm sweating through my shirt. No, I didn't feel it at all. It breathed. These jerseys breathe so well in the heat that they're like my new go-to from when I'm outside and it's hot, other than if I'm not wearing a tank top. Because like if I go to the lake, I'll wear a tank top. But if I'm like at my son's football practice or my daughter's soccer practice, I'll wear one of these because they breathe so well that the air flows through them and it doesn't get hot. So head over to their website, WrestlingVintage.com, and use code PWU10 at checkout, and you will get 10% off of your purchase. Again, they've got wrestling jerseys themed after guys like Sting, The Rock, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, The Brood, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Rob Van Dam, Warrior, Bam Bam Bigelow, and so many more. But as we move on, we've got Rampage to talk about. What the heck happened there? Give me 1 second. Pull up the Rampage notes. All right, we got the Rampage notes. Code PWU10, Mr. Bangs. I have to make a graphic for that one, so it's up on the screen when we're talking about it. PWU 10. Put the link, wrestlingvintage.com. Let's do it this way. Go wrestlingvintage.com. Code PWU 10. Bingo. There you go. As far as Rampage does go, I talked a little bit earlier. I was like, this is an okay show. Had a weak-ass main event. I'll say that right now. A pretty good opener. Again, I expected more from this opening match. And this show really didn't do it for me. This is another example of why I don't watch Rampage, because I really didn't care about this show. The opening match, not bad. Rest of the show, not good. Like, not that good. Like, outside of that opening match, if this wasn't, and I know this is a cliche of a lot of YouTubers and podcasters and wrestling journalists, if this wasn't my job, I would have turned this show off after that first match. I didn't have to watch this show to review it. I wouldn't have watched past the first 20 minutes. No, 15 minutes. Because, like, the stuff with Swerve and Our Glory and the Acclaimed, dumb as fuck. I mean, the Acclaimed, they're ungrateful little bastards. Swerve and Our Glory just gave them a title shot. And what do? Oh, hey, we're challenging Timon and Pumbaa at the pay-per-view. Like, I get it. You want to be confident that you can beat the champions because you're getting a title shot. But saying that you're going to insult these men that just handed you the shot that you didn't do anything to really earn. Then we get, for the second week in a row, Sammy and Ty versus Ruby and Ortiz, only to be told, hey, we're getting this match again on Sunday. Then the stuff with Jade and Athena, that was whatever. And then all that QT Marshall Ricky Stark stuff fucking sucked. All the QT Ricky stuff sucked. So overall, outside of the opening 15-minute match, I don't even think it went that long, the show was not good at all. So the show opens up, and Danhausen isn't at ringside for more than a minute before he's ejected. I should tell you what his first match was. It was the final match on the Rampage side of things for the AEW World Trios title tournament. It was Hangman Page, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds. Now, it was supposed to be 10. Then he got hurt. Then it was supposed to be Evil Uno. Then he got jumped for some weird-ass reason by Andrade. So then Hangman goes, you know what? I'll jump in and team with Reynolds and Silver. But Danhausen gets ejected like a minute in. Because the referee said, no, you can't try to curse Hangman Page. I'm like, what the fuck? Always something stupid with this company. You got too many gimmicks and too many fucking dumb shit. I get people think it's funny. I'm not the demo, obviously. Cassidy and Page had a great opening exchange before tagging out. And there was a lot of comedy here early again that I didn't really care for. For instance, Page rescued Silver from a double superplex and then cradled him like a baby. And as he was doing so, Orange came up and did light tap kicks. Silver got caught by best friends in the corner at one point and double teamed with the delayed vertical suplex during a split screen break. After the break, the match found another gear and actually ended up starting getting good. Page launched Silver onto the best friends onto the floor and caught Cassidy with a follow-away slam and then hit a plancha on best friends. Best friends came back by chokeslamming Page through the ringside table, the doctor's physician ring bell table. Reynolds then got a near fall after a rolling forearm while the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega watched from the back. Silver and Cassidy had a fantastic exchange. Cassidy got a near fall after a beach break. Best friends then hit a triple team finisher on Silver. Cassidy splashing off of Taylor and Beretta's shoulders while they held Silver on the mat. But Page made the save, broke up the pin. Page then dumped Silver and Reynolds. No. Page then dumped best friends. I don't know why I wrote that weird. Page then hit Orihara Moonsault on the floor onto Taylor. Beretta then tried a top rope German on Page, but Page flipped through and landed on his feet. Page then gave the Deadeye, Orange Cassidy, and got a near fall off of it. Silver and Reynolds then went for their rapid fire finish, but Cassidy countered into a small package for a 2. Best Friends then went for the strong 0 on Reynolds on the floor, and Taylor dropped Silver with an awful waffle for a near fall. Taylor then avoided a buckshot lariat from Page. Cassidy flew in with an orange punch on Page, and Silver rolled up Taylor to pick up the victory. So Silver pinned Chuck Taylor. We got an Eddie Kingston promo in the back just talking about Tomohiro Ishii, who he's going to face on the 0 Hour pre-show this coming Sunday. Ray Phoenix then took on Blake Christian in a 2.5-minute match. This is the typical Rampage. All right, hold on. Let me time this guy out in the chat. So this is a typical Rampage squash. It's a match they never announced, and then it's like a 2-3 minute squash. Blake Christian did look good in the few moves that we saw. He had an amazing flip dive to the floor, but it didn't take long for Phoenix to dispose of Christian, pinning him after a sit-out tombstone piledriver. In the back, Lexi Nair was interviewing Hook, but Matt Menard and Angela Parker interrupted. Menard promised that they'd get a taste of the title on Sunday. And so I forgot to mention something Jericho said at the beginning. No, Jim Ross said at the beginning of the show. They're running down the whole show, and they're like, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. We're going to hear from this person. We're going to have this match. And Jim Ross goes, holy crap, that's a lot of stuff, Excalibur. Is this an 8-hour show? He's like, no, Jim Ross. He's like, no, JR, it's only 1 hour. Tony Schiavone, I also mentioned, for that opening match, Don Callis was on commentary. Eventually, Tony Schiavone replaced him. We then had a 7-minute, 45-second match. It was Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello against Ruby Soho and Ortiz. Remember, Guevara and Mello are the AAA mixed tag team champions, but this was a non-title match. So they're coming out for the entrance. I think it was Schiavone was like, no, maybe it was either Schiavone or Ross was like, please don't kiss. I don't want to see him kiss. Don't make out. Don't make out. Ortiz and Guevara started off the match, and it wasn't long before the show went to a split screen break. Watching on the TNT app, you don't see much of the split screen sometimes, actually. So I didn't get much of anything during the split screen. Back from the break, at one point, we see Ortiz alone in the ring, taking a beating. Guevara hit a Kamigiri and got a kiss from his bride. Then ran into a power slam from Ortiz, and tags were made on both sides. Soho hit a series of headbutts on Mello, and Mello had to tag out. Ortiz got a near fall after a splash, and Soho got the tag, and then gave Guevara a headbutt. She went for a Cazadora on Guevara, but Conti caught her and gave Soho a DDT. Mello and Guevara then went for a double team suplex on Ortiz, but Ortiz blocked the move. Soho then rolled up. I wrote this wrong. I said Soho rolled up Ortiz. I wrote that wrong. Soho rolled up Mello and got the victory. As a result of the victory, we then learned later that Soho and Ortiz will be challenging for the mixed tag team titles this Sunday on the 0 Hour pre-show. That now makes 14 matches in total for AEW All Out. Howard Bubba says, hey, Tim, what location for Full Gear after All Out? We're hearing New Jersey, possibly, not confirmed, possibly Prudential Center. Up there in Jersey. Lexi Nair interviewed Hangman Adam Page in the Dark Order about their victory and upcoming match at the pay-per-view when Don Callis interrupted. He's like, hey, you turned down a sure thing 3 weeks ago when you turned down the Young Bucks. Now you're a team with these two guys. What are you thinking? Well, now my boys are going to take you guys out. Mark Henry then moderated a face-to-face with Athena and Jade Cargill. Not much to it other than them throwing jabs back and forth at each other. Athena said that Jade doesn't deserve what she's gotten, that she never put in the work to get to this spot. And here's the thing. Usually, Jade's always like, Tony, cut the shit, right? And she always says, shit. Well, tonight, when she said the word shit, they bleeped it. For everyone that's been saying, oh, that report's not true, that Warner Bros. Discovery told them that they needed to cut back on the swear words. Yeah, it is. Why else would they be bleeping the word shit? When in almost every other Jade Cargill promo, she does the whole, Tony, cut the shit. And they never bleep it. But they bleeped it when she's... Now, I don't know why, but Athena called her a bitch and they didn't bleep that. But when she said the word shit, they bleeped it. So is shit worse than bitch? I don't know. But that right there confirms what we've been hearing and reporting and saying, that Warner Brothers Discovery told AEW to tone down the language. So instead of having to tone it down, for the most part, they're bleeping it now. So there was, I think, something else on this show. Either this show or Wednesday that someone said a word and they bleeped it. Now, it wasn't Ace Steel. He threw out an F-bomb and got in trouble for it. But that just proves that report true. That Jade said shit and they bleeped it. Jade says shit almost every week and they didn't bleep it. And let's see. Hold on. I'm going to see. Words you can't say on cable. What words need to bleep? You have to say cable because there's more words that have to be bleeped on broadcast television. Let's see. Nope. There we go. Censored words. TV censored words. Let's see, because Bang says, shit, not worse than bitch. Well, interesting. According to this list here, which I've seen this list before, bitch is not on the list, but shit is. So shit is considered a worse word than bitch. Words that need to be bleeped on television are, and I quote, asshole, which you only bleep hole. Balls, when it's making a sexual reference. Beat off. Blow as a sexual reference. Blowjob or BJ. Bullshit, but you only bleep the word shit. Carpet muncher. Chink. Christ. Circle jerk. Clit. Cock. Cocksucker. Coon. Coochie. Cum. Cunt. Dick, in reference to a penis. Dirty Sanchez. Doggy style. Dyke. Eat out as a sexual reference. Fingered. Fag. Fisting. Fucker. Gang bang as a sexual reference. Go down on. God damn, you bleep the God. Golden shower. Hand job. Hand or hard off as a sexual reference. Head as a sexual reference. Homo, jack off, jerk off. Jesus Christ. Jism. Kike, lesbo. Mofo. Motherfucker, you bleep the fucker. Pink, when talking about a vagina. Piss as a sexual reference. Poontang. Prick. Pussy, when talking about a vagina. Reach around. Rim job as a sexual act. Shit. 69 as a sexual act. Eat, snatch, spick, suck as a sexual act. Swallow as a sexual act. Tits and titties. Wet as a sexual act. Wetback, wigger, wop. Those words need to be bleeped on television. Oh, bitch. Bitch not there for some reason. Very, very interesting. So, Tony Schiavone's backstage, Swerving Our Glory, and the acclaimed ungrateful little brats. Swerving Our Glory did not need to just give them the title shot, but they did. And then, well, they're over here. Oh, you guys, you're nothings. What we're facing on the pay-per-view, Timon and Pumbaa. And I think it was Swerve was like, so in the short history of AEW, you two have racked up the most amount of wins of any tag team in this company. Yet look at you guys. You just come out here with your silly little raps, and you talk about Caster, and he looks at Bowen's like, and you let your tag team partner down every time because your body always gives out on you. He's like, us? We're like, what do you say? We're like minerals, stones, and rock. And in rock, paper, scissors, rock. always beats Scissors. You know, they do the whole scissor me daddy, scissor me daddy. Then we had another random segment we didn't know about. Wardlow and FTR came down to the ring. Harwood grabbed the mic and started his usual aw shucks promo. And he's like, you know, I've seen all the stuff online from the journalists who are asking why we're even having this match anyways, in reference to the 6-man tag, that the match doesn't make any sense. Well, in my career, every match makes sense, and I make sure every match makes sense, because I don't know when my next match is going to come. I don't know if that's going to be my last match, my next match, my whatever match. So I make sure every match is important. And I'm like, oh, come on, guy. Come on, guy. You got 3 tag team titles there, and you can't defend any of them? You got the fucking TNT champion. He can't defend his title on the pay-per-view? Come on. Out then come the Motor City Machine Guns, who, this is funny. Jericho says something about they're going to be facing the Detroit Machine Guns. And he's like, it's the Motor City Machine Guns. I know that, whatever. And Tony Schiavone was, or no, it was either Schiavone or Jim Ross was like, I'd correct you there, Jericho, but I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know what he was referencing. But out does come the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, and why can't I think of his name? Why can't I think of his name all of a sudden? Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh. Chat, let me know who I'm missing here. Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, and his name's on the tip of my tongue. Why can't I think of his name? Come on, chat, help me out. Who's the guy in the suit? He's a producer. He's not an actual wrestler in AEW. Former X Division champion. He was a producer in WWE. I'm going to feel stupid as hell once you guys put it in the chat. Anyways, Chris Sabin comes out and he starts talking. He's like, well, to introduce ourselves. We're the Motor City Machine Guns. Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley. And he started talking about all these different things. And he's like, yeah, you know, we've been together for years. And no, not Taz. Not Taz. Who's with Sanjay Dutt? Thank you since Saturday. Sanjay Dutt. Mr. Dutterson. I feel dumb. Anyways. Sabin's cutting the promo and he's like, you know, we've been together through all these different kinds of things. You know, we came up in this industry together. We've known each other forever. We've seen all the ins and outs and da-da-da-da-da. Second, we're not going to take any slack from you guys and we're going to beat you on Sunday. And that's Sanjay takes the mic and starts going off. And he's like, yeah, my guys are going to beat you guys, and you guys are worthless, and this and that. And hey, Harwood, you're going to go out there and just fight like your 8-year-old brat, huh? And Harwood loses his shit and jumps out of the ring. Cash and Wardlow hold him back. And I was like, okay, it's just another. And I mean, Jack said it. Why do you guys think this is a meaningless match? This isn't a meaningless match. It kind of is. It kind of is. It's just the 6th, 7th, or 8th meaningless match on this show. Like, there's a lot of meaningless matches on this show that really aren't going to lead to anything. You're going to have the match at the pay-per-view, and then there's just done. Like, that's the whole. My main issue with this show is it's a lot of slapped together stuff. It feels like a lot of slapped together stuff, which we're going to talk about here in a moment, because I want to talk about that. Then we go to our main event. Let's send it to Mark Henry before we do our main event. Mark Henry's, you know, doing the split screen and everything. And QT's like, yeah, I'm going to do it without the factory. And I'm going to be out there by myself tonight. And Ricky's like, well, yeah, you have to do it without the factory because look here. And they're locked in the locker room. And he's like, yeah, they're not going to be able to help you anyways because I got them trapped. And QT's like, what? Huh? And he runs off. And Mark goes, well, I guess that's it for talking. It is time for our main event. And so they start brawling in the back when QT tries to open the door or whatever. They end up brawling all the way out to the ring where Starks dominated as the show went to a split screen break. I actually showed this one on the TNT app, though. So Starks takes a superplex and apparently lands wrong on it and sells the neck for the rest of the match. Yet, afterwards, he was still able to deliver an overhead throw and a spinning DDT for a near fall. Factory then eventually managed to escape the locker room, and while Aaron Solo distracted Starks, Nick Camarado slipped the watch on QT Marshall's hand so he can use it like brass knucks. Starks then speared Solo off the apron and took out the Factory on the floor. Back in the ring, Marshall hit the Diamond Cutter for a near fall. Marshall went for the Crossroads, but Starks avoided it and hit a spear. Nothing with that damn watch. That was the one thing. It's like he put the watch on his hand and never even did anything with it. Starks then delivered a Rochambeau and picked up the victory. After the match, Hobbs ran in and he and Starks brawled. They had to be separated as a bunch of officials and so forth came out. And then right as the show was going off the air, all of a sudden there's Bryan Danielson at the commentary table. It looks Jericho. Looks like they're going to do something. And then we hear, oh, it's time to go. We got to go off the air, ladies and gentlemen. And that's it. And they don't go off the air because they got something important afterwards. I mean, they go off the air for more of their programming, the countdown show. Like, really? Give them an overrun. Give them another minute. Give them 2 minutes. So, I would say most of this show was meh, bleh. And the opening match was okay. Well, actually, it was good. Started off okay, and then got good after the first break. So, basically, the only thing I liked here was the second half of the opening match. I'll say that right now. That was the only thing I liked on this entire show. The rest of the show, crap. Just like Rampage is most weeks. Just like Rampage is most weeks. Not a good show. Why do I watch this? Why did we watch this? This show did nothing for me to build up my hype for the pay-per-view. If anything, it was like, why is this match happening? This match don't make sense. I don't care about that match now. You know what I mean? It almost, my interest for this match. And when talking about matches on this show, most of these matches feel like they're just slapped together. Like, Swerve in Our Glory versus The Acclaimed. Oh, we need a tag title match. So who can we just have face Swerve in Our Glory? Anybody. Blah. Ladder match, okay, cool. Ladder match is a tradition. Winner gets a title shot. 6-man tag. Wardlow and FTR against Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. Super slapped together. How does this match happening make any sense? Any sense? Jungle Boy and Christian, at least that's been building for weeks. A woman's fatal 4-way. I mean, we have some news on Thunder Rosa here soon. She may be becoming a free agent. She may not even be coming back. This may not be an interim title match. She may just be for the title. Anyways, didn't hear that from me. I don't have it 100% confirmed yet, but I'm going to say it anyways. I was told today Thunder Rosa may become a free agent soon. Other matches that don't really make sense, like most of the pre-show. Tomohiro Ishii and Eddie Kingston, that was random. I mean, they fought before. Ishii won, so what, Kingston wins this time? Kip Sabian and Pac. What the hell has Kip Sabian done to earn an All-Atlantic title shot? Oh, that's right. Sat on the sidelines for a year. Nothing. Hook and Angelo Parker. The FTW title doesn't mean anything. It's a pre-show match, fucking whatever. Then we got the match for the AAA mixed tag titles. Like, they literally fought last week. Kai and Sammy versus Ruby and Ortiz. Kai and Sammy won. Then they fought this week. Rematch. Ortiz and Ruby win. So what? We need a rubber match? But you're going to do it Sunday? We just fucking saw the match tonight. We don't need it again that quickly. So, like, I'm interested in a couple matches here at the pay-per-view, like the 6-man tag for the trios titles, because I really want to see how they play up the whole Hangman Page and the Elite stuff. The ladder match is going to be fun. Jon Moxley and CM Punk, I'm interested to see. I'm not interested in the match itself-ish. I'm interested in how they book the match and how the match actually plays out. Because I have a feeling they're flip-flopping this and CM Punk wins. I mean, you got my predictions ready, but that's what I'm interested in. Does CM Punk win this title in Chicago? Did they do all of this just so they can get the title off of Punk and then go, oh, crap, yeah, no, Punk shouldn't be the champion yet. He needs to, win it in Chicago. Oh, and another match that kind of makes sense, but, I mean, it's probably going to be a good match, so I'm not too shitting on it. House of Black versus Darby, Sting, and Miro. And then Jericho and Danielson. To me, that's the real main event. Jericho and Danielson. That's the real main event of this show. That's the match that I'm most interested in. And I've had a lot of people tell me that that's the match that they're most interested in. Jericho and Bryan Danielson. But I digress. That's what I thought of Rampage. You know what I think of Rampage every week. It's a You Can Miss It show. Tonight, Even though it was a pay-per-view go-home, it was still a you can miss it show. So if you didn't watch Rampage, you didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything. As far as the polls do go, Twitch poll, 86% liked the show, 14% thought it was just all right. As far as the Twitter poll does go, 58% like, wow, almost identical to the Smackdown poll. 58.3% liked it, 20.8% thought it was just all right, and 20.8% didn't like Rampage. And finally, the YouTube poll, 51% liked it, 30% thought it was just all right, and 20% did not like Rampage. With that, remember, you can be part of the show by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. Let's check the text messages. I know I've been getting a number of them because they keep popping up on my screen. New text message. New text message. Also, I just heard a loud crash outside. Hopefully nothing bad happened. So as far as the first text message here, it says, I liked AEW tonight. Why AEW make anyone more... Why AEW make anyone more championship for women division? I feel AEW not using Ring of Honor at all. Oh, spoiler. AEW World Title was defended on Dark at the Dark tapings tonight. Yeah, AEW World Champion Claudio Castagnoli defending his title on Dark. Just saying. Speaking of not using the ROH titles, well, they do on the YouTube show. Where it says, you see McIntyre winning the title tomorrow at Clash of the Castle since USA still needs a world title on Raw. My prediction, if you saw earlier, is Drew wins, but somehow Paul Heyman finagles it to where Drew only just won one belt. Where it says, you believe Drew will win at Clash of the Castle. And so do I. I do. And again, I think Paul Heyman does something to where the contract says only one title was on the line. Even though they never did a contract signing. Or says, you see Sheamus winning the... You guys, come on. You can't watch my predictions video? No, Sheamus ain't winning in my opinion. Do you think the Fiend will return tomorrow? No. Or says, how many months left do you think Randy Orton has to recover from his injury? That is unknown. Because he's got a back injury that needs surgery, and we don't even know if he's had surgery yet. The rumor was that he'd be out for the remainder of the year. But we don't really know. Person says, where do you see the Happy Corbin JBL storyline going? Do you think this could be the best All Out ever? No. Last year's All Out was really good. And the person says, thanks for recommending watching wrestling. Watch wrestling for pay-per-views for free. Yeah. If you guys don't want to pay for All Out this weekend, all you got to do, or if you don't want to pay for WWE Network and Peacock, all you got to do is go to watchwrestling.in. Probably have to sort through a couple of pop-ups. Then you're watching for free. And I'll tell you right now, watchwrestling.in works tremendously on an Amazon Fire Stick. That's how I use it to watch every UFC pay-per-view on the Fire Stick at a buddy's house. I go over there and I go, UFC time. And he goes, okay, here's my Fire Stick remote. Set it up. Watchwrestling.in. Helps you watch wrestling for free. But as far as the JBL Happy Corbin stuff goes, I have no clue. JBL going to give him a bunch of money and then he's going to be happy again because right now he's on a trajectory of losing, unhappy Corbin. JBL going to go, all right, I'm going to put you in a suit. I'm going to put you in and, give you some money. Hopefully that'll help you. I don't fucking know. Kind of random and weird, to be completely honest. But with that, guys, that's going to wrap everything up. We talked about Smackdown. We talked about Rampage. And then tomorrow, we're going to be talking Clash at the Castle because tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, WWE Clash at the Castle on Peacock in the United States and the WWE Network everywhere else. With that, guys, have a great rest of your Friday night. I'll be back live tomorrow. Then I'll be back live Sunday. We've got a bunch of shows this weekend. So with that, have a great night, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.